My name is Terry Tyson, and I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to return to Alakazam Academy once again. This time, I will be sharing some interesting things that have never been released before. And I call this session Para-Magical Connections. It's where we connect bizarre magic, storytelling magic, mentalism, and traditional magic in new and interesting ways. I will give you what I call the 7 steps to making your magic more meaningful. I'm also going to share with you some interesting objects like this small treasure. But more about that later. In the meantime, I'm busy preparing for the session and looking forward to seeing all of the folks at Alakazam and seeing you there as well. Thank you. See you soon.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Alakazam Live. So today we have got a very special guest with us. In fact, we've got 2 guests with us. And one of them will be appearing tonight right here at the Alakazam Academy. So we're going to be talking to him a bit more about what's going to be happening. But if you haven't grabbed your tickets already, pop over to the website and grab them. It's happening at 7 p.m. tonight on straight in your Alakazam account in the Academy section, where we'll be going live. You'll be able to join us live and you'll be able to ask questions in the chat room. It's going to be a great night of magic. So without further ado, let's introduce our special guests, the amazing Terry Tyson and Tom Chesser. How are you guys?
Doing well, thank you. It's good to be here. Yeah, finally, again.
Yeah. Well, you've been with us. You've appeared on. See, I always thought you had your own academy, but you didn't, did you? You've only been on Tackling Terrifying Taboos.
Right, and I think the first one, it was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And then during lockdown, we had an online version where I shared some things. And then finally, we're back after lockdown and after traveling across the ocean and visiting with my friend Tom and Luch and some others to be here. And I'm very, Peter, I can't tell you how excited I am. Mostly to see you yahoos, you know.
We're always happy to see you. So, but the one you did in lockdown, that was quite, I know it was part of the Tackling Terrifying Taboos, but you did quite a session there. In my mind, I'm feeling it. You did at least half of the whole taboos, because it wasn't just a little bit you came in for. It was quite an in-depth piece, if I remember rightly. It was a seance, wasn't it?
Yes, and in fact, we're going to build on that session during tonight's Academy. I introduced, I think, or at least reintroduced bottle pendulums, which I'm now referring to as table pendulums.
Right.
Because we're going to take the pendulum out of the bottle and put it on the table for interesting take on how do you use a bottle pendulum concept and expand it into perhaps more narrative-based presentations. So, so I've got 2 of those I'm going to share. And one is dealing with the Wild West in Tombstone, Arizona.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and the other one is dealing with the local folklore where I live along the Reedy River, the Witch of the Reedy River in South Carolina. So that'll be fun.
And the host tonight is Jamie Dawes, of course. We couldn't choose anyone else to host it. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. And guys, if you haven't got your tickets already, go grab them. They're on the site. They're still at the early bird price as well. But after the evening, they're going to go up to the full price. And remember, even if you can't make it tonight to watch it live, the whole evening is recorded and it will be put into your accounts for you to download and enjoy forever. So you've been over here for a few days. You met up with Luch,
Yep.
who's a good friend of mine and Alakazam's, and you also went to the Magic Circle last night. So you had a tour around the museum.
Yeah, I was blown away. To be perfectly honest with you, your museum is better than the Magic Castles
Oh, really?
in Hollywood. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was much nicer. It was quite remarkable. Saw some things that, like, oh my goodness, oh yes, I know that. Oh, that's that. You know, it was fun. And my wife accompanied us, and she was very tolerant and said, "Oh, that's nice. So, but she also enjoyed it. She liked looking at the cool buildings and the posters and the library and the very friendly folks that we met there. It was wonderful. Yeah.
It's a great building. It's a really great building. Did you go into the theatre? Did you have a look around the theatre?
No, we didn't. We didn't go into the theatre. They were using it for exams.
Ah, right.
So
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt that. So yeah, we just went through the event room, had a tour of that, and the library where Terry signed a copy of his own book.
Oh, brilliant!
Which is really good. And then we had a tour of the museum, which I've been a member of for a couple of years now, and I'd never been in the museum.
Right.
So that was fascinating, really interesting. There was a flea market on last night, so they were using the building in different ways.
Yeah.
But if you're not a member, I'm just as an advert. If you're not a member, they've got the Magic Circle convention coming up in a couple of months.
Yes.
And that's open to members and non-members.
it
It's a great
is.
day.
And details are on their website. It's a good point, actually. Yeah, if you want to go to a great convention in London, they've got a brilliant lineup this year
really good
as
lineup
well.
this year. Yeah.
Go check it out on themagiccircle.co.uk, I believe. Right, let me have a look, see who's with us. We've got Tony Antonio joining us.
We saw
I know
Tony.
You met Tony because
Yes.
I saw a picture of you with Tony. A good friend of mine, Tony Antonio. So, have you seen any of Tony's work?
Yes, in fact, we met in Tuscany a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
With Luc Germain, and he was there, and he showed me some of his things, and I saw them again. It was really nice that Susan was there,
Yeah, because they've met.
so she could see his work, and she basically gave me permission to buy something.
That's always nice, isn't it? When they're, because I know what you mean.
At face value as well, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Tony's stuff's great. I mean, whenever I need anything, I go to Tony, and he's so quick. Everything's always perfect.
yeah,
And
he's
his
truly an
customer-
artist.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
really is.
And his customer service is second to none. Let's see who else is joining us. We've got Jonathan Batchelor's here. He used to be a regular. He hasn't watched live for a long time. Hi, Jonathan. Andrew Lucas. Jason Gray is joining us from New Zealand, I think.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So we've got quite a few people. Oh no, he's from Australia. Quite a few people joining us, which is really good. So how many of you guys have actually grabbed your ticket to Terry's Academy tonight? Let us know in the chat. Roy Smith said, "Afternoon all. Terry, thanks for supporting the Edinburgh Mentalist convention
Yeah.
recently."
Yeah, I did a quick, it was about an hour session on pendulums,
Right.
and I realized afterwards that the next time they do this, I'm going to be there in person.
All right. So it was virtual.
It was virtual,
Ah,
yes. Yeah, it was, and it was fun. But you have to be in the same room when it deals with, pendulums one-on-one. It would have been better. So I made a promise that as soon as I can, I'll be there in live person.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't venture to Scotland on this trip. You've been before, though, to Scotland.
No, we are actually going next year.
Right.
And we'll do a cruise around the Isles, and Scotland is one of the stops. And my mum is from Scotland.
Right.
Well, family name.
Yeah.
I have the tartan, I have the kilt, I have the whole bit.
Well, if you want spooky stories, Edinburgh is full of them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic
But hello, Roy. Thank you for joining.
Michael said he's excited for the Academy today. It's going to be a great night. It's really going to be a great night. Every time Terry's here or joins us on the Academies, they're always fun. Let's see what else.
That's why I offered to carry his bags.
Yeah. So you've known Terry probably longer than I have.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I mean, initially online, I'm not entirely sure how we hooked up online. Maybe just in one of the kind of bizarre groups.
Right.
And yeah, we've been chatting for years, and I came along to when he was visiting a few years ago, and brought him along to the shop, which was my first time here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we chat quite a lot online, and we have little Zoom chats, and I helped out with a couple of projects, and he's mentored me on others. So yeah, it's been lovely, and it's been really good to spend the last yesterday and last night with him.
Yeah.
We did have quite a good dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So, Tom, you're not mainly bizarre stuff?
Oh, I do
Mentalism,
kind of
isn't
mentalism stuff. Yeah, on stage it's very silly mentalism.
Yeah.
I used to be all serious, then I picked the wrong participant, and I was just rude to him because he was annoying, and the audience thought it was funny, and I thought, oh, cool, I'll just be me then. That's
Right.
fine. So I just silly stuff on stage, kind of more serious, close up one-to-one. But I've been spending a lot of time recently with helping people write their books.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know you're helping Alakazam with a few projects at the moment as well, which is great. So actually, that's a really good point. If any of you are writing books or lecture notes and you want them proofread and formatted, speak to Tom.
Excellent. I can tell you my website if that'll help.
That will help. I'm just going to put this up.
Okay.
Which is our shameless plug icon. So usually Wayne Goodman gets that, but I'll let you have it today.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Thanks very much. So themagicproofer.com, themagicproofer.com, my website. Give me send me an email from there, and I'll help you. Like proofreading, editing, kind of getting the words into shape, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what's nice about this is that I had a book that we had proofed by someone, but they weren't a magician.
Yeah.
This chap is a magician, and I'm trying to explain something. He would be able to translate my silly words into something that made sense.
Yeah.
And that's his key gift there, I think, as well as being just a smart.
That's very kind. And also, I won't get as annoyed as your wife or partner will be after you've sent me the same thing 6 times. And when you've written right hand and you meant left hand, I will spot that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does make a big difference having a magician proofreader. I mean, we've published a few books in our time, and we have them proofread, but one of them in particular we had proofread, but it ended up having a lot of mistakes in it, but not grammatical mistakes, but where they had read something, obviously didn't understand it because they weren't a magician.
Yeah.
And then sort of retranslated it.
Yeah.
And it,
The magicians and mentalists and all of us performers, that we have a language, and it's a language specific to us, and you can write a sentence that a magician would understand, but a layperson wouldn't. And if they've tried to make that make sense, it won't work.
It's a hard job. So guys, if you are thinking of writing lecture notes or a little book, speak to Tom because he is amazing. But we've got Terry joining us this evening, but also it's an exciting day as well because we have literally just launched a new product about 10 minutes ago.
Excellent.
And I have got the trailer somewhere here. So let's take a look at this.
Out this room, then. Any questions? Let's be honest. Professor's Nightmare is an absolute classic. You've probably performed it yourself. What if I told you that you could do Professor's Nightmare using up-to-date current props that your audience can relate to with a built-in presentation that's going to allow your audiences to hang off every word? I'm going to be teaching you on this project how you can take all of your favorite rope routines and apply it to the Nightmare Recharge gimmicks to be able to take all of your rope routines to the next level, make them even more visual and make them even more relatable. This is a trick with charging cables, which is kind of weird, but in my house, I'm married and have 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, and we fight over the charging cables all the time. And we fight specifically over which one to get, because I tend to find there's 3 different sizes. You have the small one, which is no good to anybody, because it doesn't, exactly, it's just terrible, right? You've got the perfect size. My wife considers this to be the perfect size. The medium-sized one is just about right. And then you've got the long one, which in many situations is too long. Make sure they don't come apart. Make sure they don't stretch. They are normal charging cables that you can get from any electronic shop. And we've got the big long one. That one was okay, yes. Perfect. And we've got the small one. That one was okay as well, yeah. And the medium-sized one, was that one okay? Wonderful, thank you very much, buddy. The problem is, the long one is too long, the small one is too small, the one in the middle is just about right. So here's how I avoid arguments in my house. What I do is I take the 3 charging cables, and because everyone seems to like the medium-sized one, what I do is I change the sizes of the others. I pull, I stretch, and I do this. And I make it so they're all exactly the same size. So you see this one here, this was the small one that you looked at. This one here was the original middle-sized one, and this one here, you get the idea, they're all the same size. I'll make it easier to follow with just 2 charging cables. Now, sometimes when you have a charging cable and you want to sit further away, you need a longer charging cable, right? Here's what I do as a magician. You see, being a magician is actually quite useful, because if I've got 2 charging cables like this, all I have to do is squeeze. And as I do, they fuse together into what I love the look on your face. And you examine these. This is one long charging cable.
Well, I was watching it.
Exactly. The thing is, then my wife will say, well, hang on a minute, I need a charging cable for myself. That's when, well, yeah, exactly. So that's when I do that, and I cut the long one into 2 medium-sized ones.
What?
Yes, 2 medium-sized ones. You see, now you've got 2 medium-sized ones. Of course, if I wanted a long one, I would just do that. Are we following this? Is this making any sense to anybody? It's not making any sense to me either. You take the first end and you pull it all the way into your hand. It's got to go all the way in, just like that. You wait a second, jumps over there. You take the second charging cable, you put it all the way into your hand like that. You take the second end, pull it all the way in, it's over there, you blow. Second end jumps over there, the end's over there, the middle's over there, the end's in the middle have changed places. You're starting to question reality at this point, aren't you? You hold on to the ends. You hold on to the ends. Now, if you hold on to the ends and I hold on to the middle, there's no way they could change places. She's holding on to those ends. Think about this for a minute. Well, I've just got a middle now. That's no good at all. What am I going to charge with a middle? Well, not much. I tell you what, we'll put the ends back on as I go through anytime you want to. Just say stop before I get to the end. Anytime you want to, just say stop. 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch. We'll take the ends. Just there. We'll put the ends over the middle. You can hold on to those ends if you want to. Just hold on to them right there. Because if magic was real, give them a blow.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Give it a blow. Let go. We'll go back to the way we were at the very beginning. If I just do this. Yeah, because at the very beginning, there we go. We had 1, 2, 3 charging cables. You hold on to that one. You hold onto that one. Right there. And I will hold on to this one. And we'll see if we can go back to the way we were at the beginning with a long one, a short one, and a medium one. On the count of 3, everyone give them a gentle pull. 1, 2, 3. And that's the long one, the medium-sized one, the short one.
That is bloody good. So good.
My name's Craig Petty, and on behalf of Alakazam Magic, I am super proud to bring to you Jay Ferren's Nightmare Recharged.
So that is Nightmare Recharge. They're in stock now, both here in the UK and in our US warehouse. If you want one, go and grab it on the website now. So, Terry,
Yeah.
for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about your magic and mentalism background, because it goes back a lot of years.
Yes, as you can tell by this visage, you know, this old face, and everybody says, you know, I want to know about the hat. You know, this is almost like a trademark. And I said, well, it's cheaper than a hairpiece, you know. So, but I started doing mentalism way back in the early '80s, and I've had the opportunity to open for Harry Blackstone Jr. back then. I shared a stage with Kuda Bucks and Bill Bixby.
Wow.
So that was pretty fun. But I had my first piece that I wrote published by Bascom Jones in his Magic magazine back in the day. And that sort of introduced me to a larger group of mentalists and creators. And Bascom and I became friends. I didn't live too far away from him, so I would meet him. He lived in Laguna Beach, and I lived inland from Laguna Beach, California. And we would meet, and we would meet and have coffee, and he was drawing his R-rated tarot deck by hand. It was quite remarkable. And then through him, I got to meet Max Maven, Max Abrams, some other names from the past. Well, there was E. Raymond Carlyle, who was, you know, the seance stuff that got me sort of interested in that, as well as Leo Koska, who was one of the early mediums at the Magic Castle. And it just continued from there. And then I had the opportunity to meet and speak with Scott Davis, who was the editor of Seance magazine.
Right.
And as we now know, Seance magazine has become legendary because it was
Yeah.
so unique. It only ran for, I don't know, 3 years or so, not very long. But I was in every issue. There was a Terry Tyson specific issue. There's a picture of me as a very young man, and I remind Susan, said, this is what I look like. and that kicked into other publications and other books, contributors of books. And one of the, as we were talking earlier off camera, Peter, one of the things I want to do is to collate all that stuff and create sort of, it's a vanity project, get it out there, you know, and sort of a legacy project. But so I need to start on that pretty soon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can help you with that.
Oh yes, yes you can. But I've performed all over the world on Viking River cruises, on the streets of Paris, and of course with you folks and with others, and across the country of the United States.
So you had a seance kind of theatre show as well, didn't you?
Yes,
with Matt.
with my friend Matt, we launched our own seance presentation in Southern California. It was an ungimmicked seance, and we had up to 48 people in the room at a time. And that really kicked in, and I think that's also how we became introduced to each other, like, or Jamie said, let's get Terry to talk about that seance. And so I've been doing this for a while and just love it. I love the storytelling and narrative aspects of that. I really, really am a fan of pseudopsychometry, and we'll talk about that tonight, and how I think, it's my own personal opinion, how pseudopsychometry should be performed in an effect that a routine that I've been working on since 2017, and finally got it launched last year at East Coast Spirit Sessions. Performed it from then, and I know it's solid. It is an audience-focused, routine in which the sitter is doing the psychometry. And I think it's a beautiful routine, if I do say so for myself. And the people who are engaged in it and watching it, they seem to really like it.
Yeah.
And it's different than your typical pseudo-psychometry routine because the audience member is doing it.
And it's pseudo-psychometry is a very strong plot. I mean, so much so that I think even Darren used it on a couple of shows next, didn't he? He used the pseudo-psychometry plot. It is, really good. So when you started as a mentalist, not so much the darker storytelling.
Right. And then it migrated, because of my theater background, into more storytelling and narrative and the seance stuff. And, frankly, it's easier to get work as a mentalist than it is a seance master.
Yeah.
Except when it's the high holy season of Halloween.
I'd say October, you're busy.
I'm busy in October. But I love doing it. I love going to people's homes, and depending on the client, we can rig the room or no gimmicks, depending on what they want. Yeah. But I've also performed the seances for the metaphysical community as well, and they get something out of it. My perspective initially has been to make it a meaningful experience, and that each person that's sitting there is having their own unique experience and reaction to what they're seeing and experience and feeling and all of that. And I call that one the kumbaya seance, when it's a touchy-feely type of thing. But then there are the storytelling seances in which you're contacting a particular person in your narrative.
I think those are, I think magic is always stronger if there's a kind of a story and you can kind of make a connection to it, to that kind of thing. I remember Peter saying that he'd been to a kind of ghost night with Jenny, and there was just too many things happening, and it became unbelievable because there were so many spooky things happening. But if you could tell a story and you know that there's something powerful and unexpected that's going to happen at the end, you only really need to do the one thing. You can cut it down and make it powerful.
I did one with me, Jenny and Jamie. We did a ghost hunters night. So this is a real ghost hunters group that hire out this old building, and it was the same place actually that Jamie done his Halloween shows last year. And it's if any place could be haunted, it would be this place. And I must admit, there was one thing that happened that really made me question it, because nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. They give you all bits of equipment, this ghost hunting equipment and everything else. So we've gone up to this. You got like the metal detecting things and all this weird malarkey. But we've gone up to this sort of big room, and they've put a few things about, and one of the things was a little torch. So they've just put a little torch over here on the side of the room, and they've gone, if there's anyone here, please give us a sign. The torch goes on, right? The timing is perfect, right? So straight away I went to Jamie, there's something in that torch, right? And then they said, we're feeling a presence. If you're here, let us know. Went off. The timing was perfect. Like, if it would have turned on a minute later, it wouldn't have mattered. But as a magician, you go, hang on a minute, that's spot on. So I said to Jamie, go check that torch out. There's something on that torch. He looked at it and he said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a normal torch. Right? And that's, we worked out. No, there was no gimmick to it. We worked out what was happening, but it just so happened that it happened perfectly at the right time. They had no control over it. Right. But it was only the timing that made you, as a magician, you go, hang on a minute, that's perfect. Right. It was literally, give us a sign, boom, like this. But
maybe it was.
Well, we know how it should work, but you can't time it. It was just luck that the timing hit.
The seance gods were smiling upon that person.
Well, maybe tonight you'll learn how to do some things where you can time it.
Well, there was a question come in actually. It's here on the screen
from John.
So how would you define a non-gimmicked seance?
I would say some people have described them as psychological seances. One would be the red light seance. No gimmicks. It happens because of eye fatigue and other things like that, and the imagination and the input from the sitters.
And suggestion from
And suggestions from the seance master.
So, as you would say, something like an Ouija board, where it's not gimmicked.
It's not gimmicked.
But they're making the things happen subconsciously. So they're not aware they're doing it, but the things are happening.
And then scrying stones, such as the black stones, obsidian, or if you really want to go high class, you go out to the garden, get a black stone, and paint it with black lacquer paint. But people, they focus in them, and I give suggestions, and they begin to see things within the stone. As well as, of course, table pendulums, in which no one's touching it, but it's still working. And we use that as, in the course of the seance, as an indicator the spirits are present. But along this thing, Peter, and you've probably experienced, and Tom, you as well, that in that setting, people experience things that you had no control over.
Oh, 100%. And I was going to say this, actually, when we were doing these nights, me and Jenny have done a few of them, and even though I don't believe in it, but you still question, especially when you see someone doing this scrying, isn't it? When you're looking in the mirror and everything else. You are, in your mind, I know we did one in a pub in Pluckley. Pluckley's not too far from here, and it's the most haunted village in the UK.
Oh, wow. And
And that's only about a 20-minute drive from here. And they've got a pub which is supposed to be haunted. There was a ghost hunt in there. And they had this machine that apparently picks up the spirits talk into the machine.
Yes.
And the machine spouts out words. So it's supposed to be telling you what the spirits.
Wow.
And on the night, it was spouting out random words, and they're trying to make sense of them. But there is a part of you, even though I don't believe in it, there is still a part of you that's going, what if that literally comes out with something? Because you're in that, you've got that atmosphere around you. You're in a dark place. It's a spooky place anyway.
And you've opened yourself to the possibilities.
And even though you know deep down it's not going to happen, there is that thing, but what if it did? What if, you just heard, get out? Right, I'm off.
And magic is in the participant's head. I mean, that's, whatever we're doing, we're just making them see, more, and they'll imagine more anyway than you're showing them. So that kind of thing, a situation where, as you say, the atmosphere is right, and you're open to the suggestions, and whatever happens in your head is
You're facilitating.
And there is a big difference between if you were to have a seance in a school hall with the lights on, compared to doing it in an old church somewhere
with red candles and
and the way we feel about it, the way your participants are going to feel about it, they're already going to be a bit not freaked out, but you're already sort of, like you said, you're open to it because you're in this place. It feels right. And things like you said, the non-gimmicked seances, people will start seeing things. They will start feeling things, and it's not because you're doing PK touches or you're doing this. They will just feel it. They get ultra sensitive to what's happening around them as well.
And that's frankly sometimes my favorite kind of seance, because they are creating the whole atmosphere and the narrative, and that it's their experience, and I like to facilitate that. One of the other things I'm going to do tonight is something that I've been working on for a bit, and it's called the 6 Doors. And it was something I was explaining to Tom, dealing with symbols and ritual. So it's very much a bizarre type of oracle system, for lack of a better term. And it was one of those things, Peter, that I did on a whim. Somebody says, I was at a restaurant, the people I was with, they invited me, they're regulars there, and they said, "Oh, you're Terry Tyson, you're the mind reader guy." Yeah, well, read my mind, you know. It's like, no, I want to have my martini, thank you. You know, but let's talk later. So the server came back, and after a while, there's a small crowd, and I had brought nothing. So I could have done a center tear or, you know, a billet switch or something, but I literally came up with it instantaneously. I did it, it blew them away. And I'll explain more on the story. And I was telling John Stetson, who's the mentalist in the United States.
I know John.
Yeah, John's a good friend. And I was there at his home for a long weekend. We're writing a Poe seance and a Lizzie Borden seance. And we went to dinner, and I was explaining, I was like, well, try it with this young lady. So I did it, and she became very emotional. And he says, "Terry, there's something there. So expand on that." So that's what I've done.
I was thinking about it last night after you explained it to me.
Yeah.
You're using the symbols, but the method is totally transferable. You could do anything within reason with the method. It's great.
And the method is so well known, but I've just repackaged it, I think, for the bizarrist or for the mentalist. You know, so there's not going to be any great big revelations about methods. It's going to be repackaging known things, but the whole idea is that you can take information and knowledge that you have and improve it, make it personal, make it a narrative or something like that.
Give it some strength.
And it's, unless you do this sort of stuff, because magic, since Blaine done a lot of good for magic, without a doubt, made it far more popular than it's ever been before. But also, I think because of Blaine's style, a lot of people that got into magic on the back of Blaine, there isn't really a lot of presentation put into magic.
Right.
But there's nothing stronger than sitting down with people and actually presenting something, and how they buy into the story, and you know, they really do believe it, and that's when you can really affect someone.
Yeah, and Peter, one of the things I'll be stressing tonight is also put some of yourself into it. In other words, you've heard it, you've seen it on a concert where Bruce Springsteen is playing with the band, and then he comes into the bar stool, the middle of the light comes down, and he's playing a song, you know, acoustically, but he also shares a bit of himself.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, no matter what kind of magician you are, that give us a peek of who you are, so that we can pull for you, so that we can like this person because, oh, he had a dad, you know, that did this and that. And I think that's so important. And a lot of magicians forget that, that they want to be the character or the persona. You know what? I prefer knowing something about you. And even if it's just one effect, that we get a little peek on who Peter Nardi is. You know,
you can still you can still build that into your persona.
Oh,
the persona
absolutely.
should be you anyway, you know.
Yeah.
There has to be some element of you in that. And,
Yeah.
and you're not going to make a connection if you're not sharing.
Right.
Yeah. If you're just taking from them or just showing them, there's no connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to tonight. I know Jamie's been getting the performance area set up out there. I haven't got it on camera. Well, I have, but it's just bottles of Coke on the table at the moment, so I won't show you out there.
It looks like lunch, yeah.
But he's getting that all set up ready for tonight. So we've got another trailer to play, so we'll have a look at that, and then we'll come back and we'll speak a bit more.
I don't get it at all.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god! What?
Hi, I'm David Marks.
And I'm Lord Harry.
And we're proud to present a brand new prediction effect using the What 3 Words app.
We're actually honoured to be invited to What 3 Words headquarters in London to perform this trick for some of the staff.
Welcome to Where in the World?
Using What 3 Words.
Let's go meet them.
I want to show you a trick using What 3 Words. So you know it takes the entire world, breaks down into little squares, and each square has got 3 random words assigned to it, right?
Could you name us a world famous landmark, something we all recognise? You probably name the...
Eiffel Tower. Big Ben. Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I've got some cards here, okay? Just make sure all the words are indeed different.
I'll go through the cards, just shout out stop anywhere you want, okay? Stop. Right there? Perfect, Jack. So these 3 words now, right here, that's the first, the second, and the third.
If we take your phone, you open up What 3 Words for me, please.
Hey, got it.
You'll be able to type in the words flows, verbs, dome, sulk, camps, and sits.
Lamp, image, inhale.
Near Paris.
It is near Paris. Where are we? You can show Jack and show...
We are bang on the Eiffel Tower.
Looks like Big Ben. Where are we?
We are at the Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty, which is exactly what you named, right? This is really weird, because I knew you'd name it.
I have been to that square, and I actually picked up a souvenir. It's actually right here, inside the card box.
Can I borrow your hand?
Yeah?
I brought you back a little something. It's a little Big Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next project.
So that is Where in the World by Lord Harry. It's on our website. You can grab that if you like the look of it. It's a great little trick. So let's see if there are any other questions. If you've got any questions for either Terry or Tom, drop them in the chat, because we haven't got that long left, about another 15 minutes on this live. So yeah, if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat. So Terry, because I saw a post you put up, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, you were going on a cruise ship. I think this was just on vacation, if I'm not mistaken, but you took a show with you. You've got like you travel with a little seance show. So is that more seance or mentalism?
It's more mentalism, actually. Yeah. The seance stuff doesn't fly as easily on the cruise ships. And what's nice is the cruise ship helps, my fee helps pay for the cruise a little bit, you know. Yeah. A little bit, at least my bar tab, which can be considerable, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, and have done basically a stand-up in the lounge, and then afterwards, invariably, there'll be an opportunity to do close-up as well. Yeah. And perhaps readings or palmistry or something like that.
So this was a booking. You do get booked to go on them as well.
Yeah. But the first one was just a holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a holiday.
And yeah, what you were saying, they saw you doing stuff, and some conversations were had.
Yeah.
So, but it's, you know, I don't have to pay rent doing this. Yeah. Which is nice. I don't have to put beans on the table doing this, which is a nice place to be for a magician. Because it's so hard. I have so much respect for full-time pros. It is so very, very hard to do.
Yeah, there's so many magicians that ring me up and go, I really want to go full-time. Yeah. And I do say to them, you do realise things will change. Yeah. Things will change, you know. It's no longer the hobby. I mean, it could still be the hobby you love, but it's now a business. Yeah. You have to sell yourself. You have to be travelling the UK doing these gigs. Oh, yeah. You know, I think, for me personally, I think the best scenario is picking and choosing what jobs you want to do. Yeah. Enjoying your performance and having your full-time job, so you're not worried about this one, right? You know, right? And you can do what you want. And you can create your own. You know, go to a venue, create your own show that's just as professional as a full-time pro. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. My friend John Ferrantino, who's a former stand-up comic, and still does it, I guess. But he does spooky stuff now. But he also does comedy magic, and he's basically retired. You know. But he still will get a black box theater and
do the show and go to the conferences and such things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
what's the state of magic in the US now? Because I've seen a lot of magic theatres opening up. There seems to be a
So you
few
keep seeing
more-
posts about those, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. David Parr is a good friend, and he is at the Chicago Magic Lounge, and then Mystique Magic, which is mostly in the West, and they have different venues. It's a dinner theater type of situation, and David works for them quite a bit, and he's been on Fool Us. He actually has the FU trophy, the Fool Us trophy.
Yeah.
And but David's a really smart guy and does conferences and sells things, and and that's how a lot of magicians also supplement their income, by doing a show at a conference, selling their books, selling their tricks, and then they're off to a gig where it's for the public, kind of thing. So there's all kinds of ways to do it, but it is hard work, as you know, Peter.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have the kind of the wedding.
No, they haven't got a wedding market.
don't.
It's big here, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't. In talking to Luch about the wedding markets and other parts, other mentalists here in the UK, it's a big market. It's virtually unknown in the States. So perhaps that is something that you pros out there should start looking at in the US. Doing that.
Me
better.
and Wayne have spoken about this so many times on the live, and we pretty much written a course for our American friends on how to tap into this market.
Oh, beautiful.
Because it wasn't a big thing here for ages, and now it's. I know people that just do weddings and make a good living at it.
Yeah, and it's the thing is with weddings, there's a lot of one-upmanship on weddings, especially here in the UK.
Okay.
There's a lot of, you go to someone's wedding and you go, oh, we've got to have that at our wedding.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a bit of a snowball, and you see someone's got something, you've got to have that, but then you've got to have something that they haven't got, and then it just goes on. So all you need is to go to a wedding, do the magic, someone's going to see it and go, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great idea having a magician at a wedding. It's not just about the magic.
Right.
It's about the entertainment at the table. It's about the person getting you to break the ice in the mix and mingle or the cocktail reception. Yeah. There's so many ways to sell yourself. But the problem is, and this is a story, I've been in sales most of my life. And I remember when I left school, I joined a company as a salesman, and the boss told me one story which has always stuck, and it's you've probably heard it, it's two shoe salesmen. I've mostly told this 100 times. And they both get sent to this, this island hundreds of miles away, to sell shoes.
Right.
So one of the salesmen rings up his bosses and goes, I'll be home on Monday, no one wears shoes here.
Right.
The other salesman rings up and goes, I've got
shoes.
no doubt when I'll be home. No one's got any shoes. and it's that. And the fact is, a lot of magicians will go, no one has a magician at a wedding in America.
Yeah,
Whereas
fantastic.
there will be someone that's going, this is great.
Yeah.
No one's got a
This
magician.
is going to be a brilliant market.
Yeah. And that's it, and that's the way, that's the mindset you've got to have when you're getting into it, because that's a huge market. The wedding market is huge, and in America, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. You were saying about the theatres, people opening up theatres. I think sometimes they're doing like shows to a sit-down audience, and sometimes it's the more immersive. It's an experience, and everything is part of the whole experience. I've got friends working at the magician's table in London, and that's really picked up. And I've now seen other venues are going, oh, okay, we can do something a bit like that. Yeah. And that can happen in any city,
Yeah, I mean, me and Jenny booked Magician's Table.
Okay.
That's great. The next time you're over, Terry, it's a brilliant premise. You walk in, Jenny booked me it for Christmas, so we went a couple of months ago, and I liked it so much I booked a whole table for Harry, his girlfriend, my daughter Holly, her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's parents. So we're going again next month, I think. But you turn up, and it's an old sort of warehousey type thing. And then you're in a cocktail bar. There's 3 magicians, so you buy a cocktail, you watch the magicians. Then you go upstairs and you're on a table seats 8 or 10. And then you'll have, and there's an underlying story running throughout the evening.
Nice.
And then you get a different magician. A magician will come up, sit down with you for 10 minutes, do a little 10-minute show, then they'll go off. The waitress will come over, take your drinks order, go off. Then a different magician comes, so you get to see 6 magicians out of the 8.
And there's some people on stage as well.
There's a bits that happen because there is this storyline. You're there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those. You're an invited guest, and you're there for a reason. It's very well done, and
I think they set it up for like 3 months, and it's now it's going. You know, it's continuing. You know.
Yeah, it was a really good evening, and for someone, I very rarely get to sit down and watch magic. You know, if people show me magic, it's usually because they want to sell me the idea for a trick. It's very rare that I get to sit down.
And you're watching it with that eye as well.
Yeah.
You're not there to enjoy it.
I'm watch it. How can I make it, and how can we release it, and it was. I was buzzing when I come out of the magician's table. Really buzzing because all the performers were fantastic. They're very strict in what you can do, so there's no overlap at all. So you're sitting there watching 6 different performers, 6 different sort of styles of magic. They might all be close up, but they'll be completely different.
You're not going to see 3 different ambitious cards.
No, that's it. And you're not going to see 3 different cards to impossible location. There'll be 1, and you know, so you're really getting a good show. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it next time you're over if you're staying in London. It was a good night.
I did mention it, but we went out for dinner instead, which was nice as well.
Yeah, but it was really good. Right, I tell you what, we're going to play your trailer again, Terry. So guys, if you have joined us late, the legend that is Terry Tyson is here tonight at the Alakazam Academy, and here's Terry on video to tell you a bit more about it.
Hello, my name is Terry Tyson, and I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to return to Alakazam Academy once again. This time, I will be sharing some interesting things that have never been released before, and I call this session Para-Magical Connections. It's where we connect bizarre magic, storytelling magic, mentalism, and traditional magic in new and interesting ways. I will give you what I call the 7 steps to making your magic more meaningful. I'm also going to share with you some interesting objects like this small treasure. But more about that later. In the meantime, I'm busy preparing for the session and looking forward to seeing all of the folks at Alakazam and seeing you there as well. Thank you. See you soon.
So that's happening tonight, 7 o'clock. If you haven't got your tickets, you can go and grab it now and save with the early bird pricing, because as of tomorrow, the price goes up. Now, remember, even if you can't join us live, it's worth taking advantage of that price, because tomorrow, or well, it'll probably be Thursday now, the entire evening will be recoded and put into your account for you to download and keep forever, so you can enjoy the wonderful Terry Tyson for years to come.
There's your legacy.
Yeah. So we are running out of time. Let me see what is happening here. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Okay, just a lot of people chatting amongst themselves on the chat. But if you are joining us tonight, let us know in the chat. I've got one more announcement to make and another trailer to play. And I'll tell you what, let's do that now, because we have got tonight happening. So go get your tickets. But next Friday, we have got a very special academy happening as well. And we have literally, we're doing it on a Friday. We never do them on a Friday, but this is the only chance we're going to have of doing it. So let's tell you a bit more about it.
Hi guys, Harry here from Alakazam Magic, and we've got some super duper exciting news. Now, as some of you may be aware, Michael Lamar, the legend of Magic, is actually over in the UK doing a lecture tour right now. And we've been speaking with him back and forth, and we have finally managed to sort of get him to do an Alakazam Academy. So, next week, Friday the 23rd of May, Michael Lamar will be right here in the Alakazam studio doing an academy for you guys. Now, how does an academy work? At 7 PM UK time, so at 7 o'clock in the evening, Michael Lamar will be live in the Alakazam studio, and you can join from the comfort of your own home. You can get your ticket right now at alakazam.co.uk. It starts at 7 o'clock. The great thing with the academies is there's a chat box down below, so you can actually ask Michael Lamar anything you like. If you want to see a trick again, if you want to ask him about something that he done in his life, anything like that, you can actually ask that live. Now, there is actually an early bird discount as well, so if you order or pre-order your ticket now, you do actually save money. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, I'm busy next Friday. No problem at all. Take advantage of the early bird price, and it's fully recorded and will be uploaded into your Alakazam account, where you can then download it and watch it forever, for the rest of your life, wherever you want. So guys, how cool is that? The Michael Lamar will be doing an Alakazam Academy next Friday, the 23rd of May. Get your tickets now. You are not going to want to miss it. It is going to be insane. See you guys soon.
No matter where you're from, all around the world, it's one unique, one special vibe.
So that is Michael Lamar will be right here in the Alakazam studio next Friday for an academy. Now, if you've already seen Michael lecture, or you're going to see Michael lecture, he will be doing different stuff on the academy. Okay. There might be a little bit of overlap, because I have asked him to do his coins through silk.
Sure.
I mean, if you've got Michael Lamar here, you've got to have him teaching the coins through silk. It's one of the most magical things you will see. And to me, I promise you, if you're not going to go and see him lecture, get yourself that academy. If you only learn the coins through silk, you will think it's money well spent. It's such a phenomenal, beautiful routine.
Yeah, he does it so well.
Yeah, and it's his version is probably the easiest version out there.
Well, he's a great teacher as well, so you know, you're going to get every second of it.
Yeah, and I spoke to him. The other day, and we were talking about it. And I said, you know, I said, could you do the silk on the lecture, on the academy? Sorry. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I said, I know that's going to take up a lot of time. And he said, you'll be surprised. He said, I've been lecturing it for 20 years that I've got the teaching of it down to a T. So, you know, he's performed it so much that he knows every movement. And
he knows where you're going to make the mistakes, and he can tell you before you make them.
So that's going to be Michael Lamar. The tickets are on sale now on our website. And once again, they're at the early bird price. So go book your ticket now, and you'll save money. Right, so guys, that is it for today's Alakazam Live. I want to thank our special guests, the amazing Tom Chesser and the legendary Terry Tyson. And if you want to see more of Terry, make sure you join us tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll be going live into your Alakazam accounts under the Academy section. If you haven't joined us for an Academy before and you purchased this Academy, pop over to your account, go into the Academy section, you should see the holding screen. If it's not there, scroll down a bit, you'll see Terry's name, click on that, scroll back up and the holding screen will be there. That's where we're going to stream tonight.
Great.
So we look forward to seeing you there. So thank you very much to our special guests. And we will see you tonight. I'm going to leave you once again with the trailer of our brand new release today. It's called Nightmare Recharge by Jay Ferron. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock.
This for a minute. Any questions? Let's be honest. Professor's Nightmare is an absolute classic. You've probably performed it yourself. What if I told you that you could do Professor's Nightmare using up-to-date current props that your audience can relate to with a built-in presentation that's going to allow your audiences to hang off every word? I'm going to be teaching you on this project how you can take all of your favorite rope routines and apply it to the Nightmare Recharge gimmicks to be able to take all of your rope routines to the next level, make them even more visual and make them even more relatable. This is a trick with charging cables, which is kind of weird, but in my house, I'm married and I have 2 kids, one boy, one girl, and we fight over charging cables all the time. And we fight specifically over which one to get, because I tend to find there's three different sizes. You have the small one, which is no good to anybody, because it doesn't, exactly, it's just terrible, right? You've got the perfect size. My wife considers this to be the perfect size. The medium-sized one is just about right. And then you've got the long one, which in many situations is too long. Make sure they don't come apart. Make sure they don't stretch. They are normal charging cables that you can get from any electronic shop. And we've got the big long one. That one was okay, yes. Perfect. And we've got the small one. That one was okay as well, yeah. And the medium-sized one, was that one okay? Wonderful, thank you very much, Billy. The problem is, the long one is too long, the small one is too small, the one in the middle is just about right. So here's how I avoid arguments in my house. What I do is I take the 3 charging cables, and because everyone seems to like the medium-sized one, what I do is I change the sizes of the others. I pull, I stretch, and I do this. And I make it so they're all exactly the same size. So you see this one here, this was the small one that you looked at. This one here was the original middle-sized one, and this one here, you get the idea, they're all the same size. I'll make it easier to follow with just 2 charging cables. Now, sometimes when you have a charging cable and you want to sit further away, you need a longer charging cable, right? Here's what I do as a magician. You see, being a magician is actually quite useful, because if I've got 2 charging cables like this, all I have to do is squeeze. And as I do, they fuse together into what I love the look on your face. And you examine these. This is one long charging cable.
Well, I was watching it.
Exactly. The thing is, then my wife will say, well, hang on a minute, I need a charging cable for myself. That's when, well, yeah, exactly. So that's when I do that, and I cut the long one into 2 medium-sized ones.
What?
Yes, 2 medium-sized ones. You see, now you've got 2 medium-sized ones. Of course, if I wanted a long one, I would just do that. Are we following this? Is this making any sense to anybody? It's not making any sense to me either. You take the first end and you pull it all the way into your hand. It's got to go all the way in, just like that. You wait a second, jumps over there. You take the second charging cable, you put it all the way into your hand like that. You take the second end, pull it all the way in, it's over there, you blow. Second end jumps over there, the end's over there, the middle's over there, the end's in the middle, have changed places. You're starting to question reality at this point, aren't you? You hold on to the ends. You hold on to the ends. Now, if you hold on to the ends, and I hold on to the middle, there's no way they could change places. She's holding on to those ends. Think about this for a minute. Well, I've just got a middle now.
That's no news.
That's no good at all. What am I going to charge with the middle?
I'm not going to charge you this.
Well, not much. I tell you what, we'll put the ends back on as I go through anytime you want to, just say stop before I get to the end. Anytime you want to, just say stop. 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch. We'll take the ends. Just there. We'll put the ends over the middle. You can hold on to those ends if you want to. Just hold on to them right there. Because if magic was real, give them a blow.
Oh no.
Yeah. Give it a blow. Let go. We'll go back to the way we were at the very beginning. If I just do this. Yeah, because at the very beginning, there we go. We had 1, 2, 3 charging cables. You hold on to that one. You hold onto that one. Right there. And I will hold on to this one. And we'll see if we can go back to the way we were at the beginning with a long one, a short one, and a medium one. On the count of 3, everyone give them a gentle pull. 1, 2, 3. And that's the long one, the medium-sized one, the short one.
That is bloody good. So good.
My name's Craig Petty, and on behalf of Alakazam Magic, I am super proud to bring to you Jay Ferren's Nightmare Recharged.